Greetings, everyone. I'm Dr. Patricia Solis. I'm the co-founder and director of YouthMappers, an associate research professor of geography and the School of Geographical Sciences and Urban Planning at Arizona State University in the United States. I am so pleased to be honored with the privilege of having the final keynote and concluding remarks for this tremendous conference, the State of the Map Africa. Obviously, we all wish that we could be in person and enjoy each other's company, but I'm very grateful to the organizers for building this virtual space for us and bringing us all together, despite all of the challenges that we've had in getting together. I wish everyone health and the best wishes for this ending of the conference. I'm very grateful to be able to share with you a few final thoughts as we move into these last moments of the conference. I really want to talk about what we can learn from engagement such as this. And I guess the best place to start is by sharing with you what I have learned from working with YouthMappers and the OpenStreetMap community of communities. So first of all, big thank you to the State of the Map Africa Organizing Committee for bringing us all together and for all of the hard work that it takes to put together a conference such as this, and all the vibrant contributions of each and every one of you as we've made our way through the last few days of sharing questions, presenting, exchanging knowledge, and trying to make a better community and a better map. Especially to Jeffrey and Tommy, I really appreciate all the support for making my participation possible and for the honor of inviting me to speak to you today. I would like to share the first lesson that I have learned from being a part of this community, and that is to look around. I think it's really important for us to be aware of where we are in this project that we call OpenStreetMap and the community that we call OpenStreetMap, and find the best of humanity that is around us. Because after all, we know OpenStreetMap as a map. We know it as a database and a platform, as a way to exchange information. But beyond that, beyond it being the people's map and this really incredible, amazing volunteer project, it really is a community. I like to think of it as a community of communities because there are so many people who come to the map for many different reasons and many different purposes. But we come together around this common purpose, which is something that I think we need to appreciate and the world can appreciate, especially right now. So let's look around. Let's see who's around us. I like this tool by Pascal Nice to look around and see who are registered to make the edits to OpenStreetMap. Who are we, and what are we doing in our local communities to improve the collective map, this collective project that we have? This is one of the reasons why I love working with YouthMappers. Many of those editors are students in universities. And in 2014, when the group of organizers came together, we saw these students being in the academic sector. We saw them as a great potential source of energy, source of inspiration, and a source of future growth for OpenStreetMap. And indeed, this is how it has unfolded over the last several years through our chapters network and recognizing the map as a powerful convener of different groups who will come together with that common purpose, the community of communities within the OpenStreetMap community. And to date, as of today, we have 291 universities who have organized YouthMappers groups on their campuses in 62 countries. So we're a global consortium. It's not a separate nonprofit. It's basically a consortium of student-led and faculty-mentored campus-based youth chapters who are creating open data on OpenStreetMap that is connected in some way to real-world projects, humanitarian needs for data development needs, research needs for spatial information. And what have we been able to do in these last few years? This is a tool that you can go and visit at any time, a screenshot from something that Jennings Anderson has created for us. He's part of our team, that we can see more than 12 million buildings over that time, more than almost 400,000 new roads, 60,000 amenities from students who are part of YouthMappers that we know about and have registered themselves with us. So it's quite an accomplishment that what students can do within this community, and all the activity over the last few years have been quite stable. The number of mappers that are active each month has been quite stable despite the pandemic and despite the need to go virtual with all of our organizing. But we're very excited that the OpenStreetMap community has welcomed this vibrant energy source within the OpenStreetMap project. Over all time, new buildings, new highways, new amenities, when we do different campaigns throughout the year, have been added to the database that all of us are using. Some of the top places where YouthMappers have been active, at least recently in the last 4 months, you can see these are places that are familiar to the attendees of State of the Map Africa. You have Uganda, Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, Zambia, South Sudan, and many other places across the continent that are really the hub of activity for a lot of YouthMappers activities. So we're very, very proud of that. And we thank the rest of the OpenStreetMap community for all of your participation in making sure that YouthMappers are a part of this. When you look at this visually and you look at this over time, you really see the impact that YouthMappers can have on the map in particular places, especially in Africa. And I hope you're seeing yourselves on the map there as well. This is the visible, tangible mark. As we look around and find the best of humanity, we can see the marks on the map on what's happening. And in fact, if you look at it by continent, 45% of the edits by YouthMappers that we have registered over the whole time that we have been working with students in this way has been mapped in the continent of Africa. You can see here many of those locations: Uganda, Zimbabwe, Mali, Zambia, Ghana, Tanzania, Nigeria, Mozambique. All of these locations that we've heard from throughout the week on what they're doing with the data after they create it. And as we like to say, we don't just build maps, we build mappers. Since it isn't just the map that we're talking about, we look around, we find the best, and we invest in each other, because this is, after all, what pays dividends in the long run, to invest in each other and our mutual success. We are very fortunate to have the formal support and sponsorship of many different organizations that you will see familiar here. Principally, we are grateful for the sponsorship of USAID and the involvement of the Geo Center in the founding of YouthMappers and the continued ongoing support. Our own institutions where we have launched YouthMappers from and organized from, Arizona State University being the lead fiscal agent, but also founded by Texas Tech University, the George Washington University, and West Virginia University. We're so grateful to HOT, the Humanitarian OpenStreetMap team, for many, many different joint initiatives and collaborations, especially across the continent with particular projects, and making sure that we're really integrated within the community. And of course, the entire ecosystem of actors. As I said, the community of communities that makes up OpenStreetMap. And how do we do this? How do we invest in each other? Well, we organize remote campaigns, collaborating and working in tandem with you, sometimes with our own campaigns, but in solidarity throughout the mapping community, whether that's just adding features to the map from a distance, and sometimes adding attributes and other entities to the map from fieldwork. We have a fieldwork program. We've worked with funding from USAID, of course, also the US State Department, and together with HOT on some of these fieldwork programs and many other local entities with the YouthMappers chapters. Many times they take their own initiative to do this, as well as advancing their own research in their own communities. We also have been investing in the learning and exchange of information through trainings, through exchanging syllabus from our coursework in the universities in webinars. And these are open for everyone to use, whether you're a part of Youth Mappers or not, through our media and the YouTube channels that we have. We've also, for our chapters, to be able to make sure that they are onboarded correctly into the community and have a very baseline introduction for proficiency in mapping. We have our Youth Mappers Academy that was launched earlier this year that helps guide everyone who are newcomers so that they can have the quality that we expect from students, and so that when you see Youth Mappers mapping, that you know that's going to be good mapping. In addition to that, we offer Validation Hub, which is a group of people who have been trained in that second step of the OpenStreetMap process of checking the data, making sure that it's mapped correctly. And we're behind all of the edits that get made, trying to make sure that everything that we do has that quality. We thank everyone who's part of our Validation Hub. Beyond that, we do offer experiences for how students can learn how data gets used. We have a virtual internship, principally has been part of the USA Geo Center, sometimes with missions and sometimes with partnering organizations. We look to grow this in the future. So if you are an organization that could use a student intern, we really would like to hear from you so we could connect this great energy with the end use of the data that goes onto OpenStreetMap and then gets deployed for humanitarian development and economic purposes. In the past, we've had some in-person convenings of fellows, particularly leadership fellows, students who are passing along their skills and growing and organizing groups on their campuses so that they can be a part of a peer group across continents. Obviously, we've had to put some of this on hold in the last couple of years, but we look forward to rejoining that and reconnecting our students so that they are a vibrant part of this community and can call upon each other for all the help and needs that they have. We also have a fellowship program for research, which includes not just the students, but their faculty mentors, because sometimes professors need to know as well, what is the latest information? How are things happening across this really vibrant community? And so we have conducted this virtually in the time being, but we look forward to more cohorts in the future where we can guide the collection and mapping of data, editing of OpenStreetMap data, directly connected to where the opportunity to learn more about our world and discovering more about our world can happen. We've also launched a campaign called Everywhere She Maps. The goal of this is to increase women's participation and amplify mapping projects that address gender issues. We have a number of examples around the world where we are working to put this in place. It is really encouraging to me that Youth Mappers are 45% female. Our students are really participatory, open up these opportunities for women mappers to become part of OpenStreetMap, even though in general we see far fewer percentages of women participating at large. We feel like this is a really wonderful signal for the future that young people are participating in equitable ways and engaged in equitable ways. And the kinds of things that they're working on really make a difference for gender issues on the ground. Things like security issues. We're working with the Youth Mappers in Tanzania, with many of your projects there, with Janet and her work there. We're working across Nigeria and Sierra Leone and Niger, other places, on mapping power lines and where electricity and the grid system is, so that your Ministry of Energy can bring electricity to the places that need it, which disproportionately burdens women when they do not have access to adequate electricity, and to where all sorts of economic opportunities for having the data and innovation that includes women and people who have traditionally been left behind from the map. The third piece of lessons that I would like to share with you, and this is something that I hear directly from youth when I say, what advice do you have for me on how we can help amplify the voices and open up the future for participation by young people around the world? They've told me, be a good ancestor. And how do you do that? We really start by listening to the voices of the future. They are all around you, making sure that they are visible, that their work is acknowledged, that students are included, not just as being human sensors, but in learning how everything works, how the process works, how they can become leaders in the community. And you have seen that happen through the YouthMappers projects. I can't name all of the YouthMappers that have been a part of the leadership now in OpenStreetMap communities in their own countries and throughout all the organizations that participate in OpenStreetMap Community of Communities. We honor you and we are so proud of you. We have had some support for regional ambassadors that really specifically are dedicated to helping this community grow and thrive. We have an outgoing group whose faces are here. You may recognize many of them. And we have a new incoming cohort for the rest of this year and the year to come. We welcome you all. Thank you so much for being part of this, and really look forward to supporting you, supporting the community grow and thrive. Other ways that we can listen is through the blogs. Read the YouthMappers blog, hear what they have to say, look at the mini projects. We're trying to make sure that that word gets out. We're also working with students to be a part of formal peer-reviewed scientific articles that use and leverage OpenStreetMap data. Here's a really fabulous one about digital humanitarians and a space that YouthMappers has created as a third space within universities and the hybrid movement that YouthMappers has become. As well as books, we have one coming out next year about how the OpenStreetMap project has been contributing to sustainable development goals. In this last month, with all of the attention to COP26 in Glasgow, we have heard the voices of young people, and we know that they need the skills and technology to make this vision a reality and to really become the leaders today, not just the leaders of tomorrow. So thank you all for making that happen. In short, what I have learned: look around, invest in each other, and be a good answer, because we are defining our world by mapping it, and we need all of the participation across the continent, across the world, in this really noble effort that we call OpenStreetMap, in this really noble community that we call OpenStreetMap. I do think truly each and every one of you, whether you're part of a YouthMappers chapter, you're supporting YouthMappers, or you're an at-large editor who just wants to contribute to OpenStreetMap, every time you change the map, you are changing the minds of the world about what a community of communities can do. Thank you for all that you do. I hope you've been inspired by the sessions. I hope you've been inspired by each other. And I'm very honored to say that we have had a successful convening, a virtual convening, and I am so privileged to be a part of it and to hear and learn from all of you. Thank you so much.